welcome to Bella's Crochet Gifts. I'm Bella. All right, so today I have some blankets to show you for a couple of different make-alongs that I've been participating in. So first of all, I have a bunch of squares that I have done for Neva's make-along, the Music Theory 101, and I did do a couple of squares for Rosanna's make-along, the book cover inspiration, and that's Rosanna from Crochet with Nana Rosanna. And then I also have participated in the it's called the, I think it's hashtag Decades Blanket Cowl, or no, hashtag Decades Cowl for Litsa's channel, and Litsa has Coco's Crochet. So I have put together 3 blankets, and I'm going to share them with you today and talk a little bit about them and what I used and what kind of yarns and such. So first off, I have Litsa's make-along, the hashtag Decades make-along. And I, of course, decided to do a blanket because I always do blankets. But I didn't just make a granny square. Oh no, I did stitches based on popular stitches for those decades. So the decades blanket it started in the 50s. So it was 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And what it was is it started in, I believe it started in August, September, October, November. I'm already done. Okay, let's be honest. I was done in August. I picked my colors and got super excited and just finished the blanket before the first month was over. But that's kind of how I roll sometimes. I'm like, I'm so excited. I can't stop. Okay. So what I did was I am using mandala cakes. Most of them are mandala cakes, and I have one, I believe it was called Roll With It Tweed. I got it as a gift, and like I didn't know what to do with it. It was just so bright, and so I decided to add it into this because I think it complements the colors really well. So starting in the 50s, she described a whole bunch of things like, you know, the black and white, all of the poodle skirts, you know, all the mint green, and you know, that kind of a thing. So I used I believe this was the mandala genie, and I held 2 together at once, and I did this stitch pattern. It was a popular stitch pattern for the 50s, and so that is what I did, and it basically makes these block shapes. A couple of the blankets had like the blocks, and then like in the center there was like a little bobble in the middle, but I was just going straight across and not worrying about it. But I made each of the box with the double crochets, and then I did a chain 1, skip 1, and then continue double crocheting. So this blanket is very wide, and I will share a picture when, yeah, it's big. It's really big. I can't remember if I just started chaining and hoped it worked, or if I started counting, because this was back in August and I have no idea, but it's big. So that was the first month. And so there's my 50s. And for the 60s, this is the Roll With It. I want to say it might be called White Elephant or something like that. But this yarn, I thought gave the psychedelic, flower child, uh, go with the flow, hippie vibes. So this is the section I did for it. Let me see. Let me grab you. And grab you. Can you see it? So I decided to do, oops, I think I dropped something. So I decided to do some double crochet rows, and then I used the flower, because I, of course, flower children, I'm thinking it has to be a flower. So I used that stitch pattern from the Call the Midwife blanket. So I used their flower, and then I did a few more, and then I was like, I wanted to break up my flowers, so I did some window stitches, or, you know, filet crochet, whichever you want to call it. So I did some double crochet, skip one, chain one, double crochet on top of each other. So there's that section. But I thought all these colors turned out so very 60s. So I liked how that section turned out. And then the next section is the 70s. And I was trying to figure out what kind of yarns I wanted to do for that. And then I came across, let's see, it was another mandala that I had gotten, and I can't remember exactly the color names because I think it was a Millens bag, and I don't think they had color names on them. But anyways, this is my 70s. So I thought that went really well with the 70s idea, you know, kind of like the stripey and the brighter colors, but like different than the 60s colors. So I did that. And this one was the V-stitch with a shell stitch on top. And again, I just researched what was popular popular stitch patterns for blankets during the 70s. And that's what I came up with. And I like how that turned out. And then I had quite a few of these. I still have quite a few because I'm not a huge pink person, but when it's a really good deal, I have a hard time turning it down. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head because part of it was also Millens, but the 80s section, I did granny stitch, and I held, you know, 2 mandala cakes together. So there we go. And then I was like, I want to finish it off, you know, just so that it felt complete at the top and the bottom. So I did, this is, I believe, Karen 1 pound in the color white. I had some left over from a blanket a while ago, and I never use white because I'm always afraid that I'm going to get it dirty. So I just threw a couple of, let's see, 4 double crochet rows on the top and the bottom. So I will put a picture on my bed and let you take a look at it. And maybe I'll do an up close of each of the sections so that you can see what it looked like through, oh, I have a stitch marker. There we go. Keep that. Anyways, so that was my participation in Coco's Crochet #decades make along. So yay, it's done. It's very big, very thick because I did hold all of the skeins 2 at a time. So pretty excited about that. And then I did Neva and a couple of squares of Rosanna Rosanna's make-alongs, both of them together, to make these two blankets. So I have a warm colored one and a cool colored one. This one is the cool colors. Oops, just knocked over a frog. Okay, so obviously I was making squares. You know that, you saw some of them. And I always put my blankets together with slip stitch, like just hold the fronts together and slip stitch through the thing. It gives a little bit of a ridge, but once you've used it for a while, it kind of flattens out and it's quick. All right, so here we go. There's these and those. Those. And these are all 3x4. And let's see, is that the last bunch? And there we go. So that was my cool tone blanket. And here's my warm tone blanket. I did reuse quite a few colors because they kept coming up in the different album covers and book covers, so that is why you see a lot of the same colors. Okay, let's see, here we go. Oops. There we are. There we are. There we go. And there we are. Okay, so with it coming towards the second half of the year, I switched into crochet for Christmas and things like that, or I'm busy with getting things going for Christmas. So I probably will not be making any more squares or participating in any more make-alongs for the rest of the year. I have good intentions, but I tend to apparently fizzle out after a while because life. I mean, I think we all know how that goes. But I will have the two blankets on either side, so you can take a look at them as they're all stretched out. So for the squares for Neva and the squares for Rosanna, those are all scrap yarns that either I had used, you know, some of were actually scraps. A couple of the yellows, because I don't have a ton of yellows in my stash. It's just not a color I gravitate toward. I did have to buy those, and I did have to buy some of the bright red because it's also not another color that I tend to have on hand. If I'm going to buy a red, it's going to be a burgundy, it's going to be a cranberry, it's going to be a darker, richer color, because you know I like my jewel tones. So I did have to buy a few things to go with the blankets, but for the most part everything else was stuff I already had on hand. And then I just used I believe it was Big Twist value in the color black to stitch everything together, so it was pretty cohesive. And those are my make-alongs for the year. I tried. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the pictures, and I will put up a little slideshow of some of the remaining pictures, or remaining album covers and squares that I had done. I think I had 6 more that I hadn't shown you, So I'll try and put those here at the end, and in case you're interested in what went with what. But those are done. I'm good to go. I'll be donating all of these blankets at the end of the year for a charity that's close to me in Washington, D.C. They do a Christmas program every year where they collect toys and stuff, and I've been donating blankets for the last few years to give to the people that are in they are in new housing. So formerly people who were homeless, who are now in a recent housing situation. So that's where all my blankets go. I don't keep any of them. I might keep December's. I'm thinking about making something special for myself and putting it part of Vlogmas or Vlogmas. So Vlogmas? Yeah, I might be doing that, but that's about it. I hope you guys are doing well and having a wonderful day or night or whatever it is. I hope it's wonderful.